What is up, guys? Welcome to the transparency. I'll let those notifications click in. I thought this was on Hawaii time.
Listen, folks, I know there's a history here. I'd like to get this hearing in today. You know, everybody needs to just focus on the relevant facts, okay? I know there's a history here. I know.
Are you talking up by Sunset Mart? Up the hill by the gas station?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you? All right. Who's responsible here?
What's that?
Who's responsible here? Whose house is this?
You haven't been drinking or anything, right?
No.
Okay. Drive careful, okay?
Thank you.
This is with the other group that ran away.
Oh, really? You just ditched it? Awesome.
Yeah, those ones kept walking in the car. And the other one.
It's truly for the win.
That I was given to. So there was 2 different discs. Okay? They all knew about it.
We're not here to talk about the alcohol stuff, okay?
Okay, yeah.
But this is the second noise complaint we've had here tonight within 2 hours.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Is this your place?
Yeah.
Perfect. You know why we're here?
I see noise.
Noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Big speaker right there.
Yeah.
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, then we have an issue.
Like brains, and like if you need a lot of brains, you're gonna be in trouble.
Boom. What is good, guys? To the transparency, welcome. Again, hello, moderators, JJ, all the subscribers, members. Sorry, this one was supposed to start at happy hour. So again, I thought I was in Hawaii, or maybe it's that I just wish that I was in Hawaii. Yes, I am live. Let's see. We're going to be talking about the Idaho4 case. We're going to be talking about Brian Drake. And we're going to make a phone call now to Moscow Police Department. Going to kick it off the right way. So we're going to call Moscow PD because they are late supplying me with a request. So let's see what's up.
Please fire dispatch.
Oh, hi. I was wondering, am I able to speak to somebody in the records department?
Only between 8 and 5, Monday through Friday.
Oh, it's 8 and 5. Okay. Can I be sent to?
Yeah, so it gets.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh,
I was just gonna say you get forwarded to the dispatch center after 5 p.m. because there's nobody there other than the officers on duty.
okay. Okay, I understand that. Is there any way I could be sent to Sergeant Hathaway's voicemail?
I can't, but I can get your first and last name, and then I can send him a message so the next time he's on duty, he would be able to see that.
Okay. Yep.
What's your first and last name?
It's Lana, Lana. And then it's ORIANI.
And your phone number?
And it's 440 662
Okay, and what is this regarding?
It's regarding a report that I was asking for him just to follow up with him on.
Okay. Okay, perfect. I'll
All right.
send him a message, and when next time he's on duty, he'll get in contact with you, okay?
Okay, great. That sounds great. Thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, now, let's see here. Bonner County Dispatch. Okay. Boston, where you been? Oh yes, hi. Hi Tiffany. I have a question. I need to get some dispatch records of a 911 call and the transcripts of it.
You'll have to call the Hunter County Sheriff's Office front office during their business hours. So tomorrow, let me see if
Okay.
I can give you that phone number. Hold on one second for me.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, let me know when you're ready for that phone number.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, the Sheriff's Office phone number is 208-263-8417. I don't have an extension for you. Hold on. Sorry, I have some radio traffic too.
Oh no, you're fine.
Do you need me to repeat that phone number for you?
I got the number I got is 208-263-8417. And then you said you had an extension or?
Yep, the extension is 3085.
Okay. And is there somebody specific I should ask for?
Nope, just call that and just tell them you need to do a public records request. And you can go, they're gonna probably have to fill out a form, so if you wanted to stop by at the office, you know where it's at.
Can I do it online or no?
No, you should be able to.
Okay, so like maybe I
Be
should.
able to do a public records request on there, and they'll be able to answer all those questions for
Okay.
you.
If I had to go into the building, where do you recommend that I go into?
So the front office for Bonner County, is it a Sandpoint call or is it Bonner County Sheriff's Office?
It would be like if I was traveling, I called 911, and like where would that go? Does it go to you guys?
Well, we dispatch for both, but they're two different stations. So when you were traveling, were you in the county or were you in city limits somewhere?
Yeah, see, like that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, should I just do 2 requests?
What's your name? I'll look for you. What's your name?
Oh, well, it's not mine. My friend did it. So, can I just
What's
do?
your friend's name?
Okay.
It's gonna be Bonner's Ferry. So you're gonna have to contact Bonner's Ferry Police Department or Boundary County.
Oh, it's Boundary County.
Either, yeah, it's Boundary County, not Bonner County.
Okay, see, I get you guys confused.
So let me give you a phone number for them when you're ready.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
208
Okay.
267-3151.
3151. And so there was never. See, I thought we were. So there was. If like I would have been in Sandpoint with them, like if I was calling and I was in Sandpoint.
So you can come to the Bonner County Sheriff's Office and request the call that we got in here, but we transferred it up to Boundary County. Hold on.
Oh, okay. I got what you're saying.
Hold on 1 second for me. Sorry about that. I had some radio traffic. So you can get the call that was put into Bonner County, but we transferred it up to Boundary County because it was their jurisdiction. So if you want the one that came into here, you can go to the front office at that 4001 North Foyer, attached to the jail.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're wanting all the calls for that particular case, you're gonna have to call Boundary County.
Okay. And
Does that make sense?
yeah, and I had it as it came to you guys first, and then it got sent to them, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And so, like,
there is a call that you can get from Bonner County.
okay, so I get from Boundary County, so that's you guys? I'm sorry, I'm just totally.
No, that's okay. It's hard working with two different counties. So the original call came into here, but we transferred it up to Boundary County. So if you wanted the call that came into here, you would go to the 4001 North Boyer Avenue and get a public records request.
Okay.
But if you're wanting the whole situation, it's Boundary County's call. It's their jurisdiction.
Okay. And nothing was dispatched to you. Like it just originally came to you guys first.
Nope. Our cost doesn't go to it. It's not our jurisdiction. It's Boundary County strictly.
Okay. That's what I thought. I was just making sure it wasn't sent to you guys from like Kootenai County or anything like that, because I didn't know if I have to call them too, or it's been.
Our ambulance or nothing goes up to Boundary County.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I totally like it makes way more sense now that I talked to you, because at first I was so confused.
I'm so glad, because I'm very confusing when I'm trying to explain it.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, wait, and your name is, I'm sorry, is it? Okay, yeah, that's what I was having a problem. I'm like, okay, well, was this the first call? Because I just want to request it right, like that's all.
Yeah, and you can get what was sent into ours as well if you want to do both and just have all of your stuff.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted it to be like the whole complete like patching through or whatever. I guess that's how they did it.
Wait, what was that one time?
I guess they what they did is they patched it through, so it was like if they said hold on, we'll just patch you through, it was like a patch on through. Is that the right way I'm saying it?
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, I have radio dropping at the same time. They wanted to talk as soon as you did.
Okay.
So we just send it up to them if it's their call.
Okay, and Nick, you just connect.
Their law enforcement, or if it's a medical, they send their medical, and it's all through them. We don't have any affiliation other than the call came in here, and we gathered a little bit of information from it.
Yeah. So I have a question then. Is it the reason it came into you guys was because of the location of where we called from?
That tower.
Because it hit that tower, right?
Yep. So let's say you were at Walmart right here in Ponderay.
Oh, yeah.
911, it's our tower.
Okay.
So then we just transfer it up to Boundary County.
Okay. That makes sense. So it was wherever I was located, and I called 911. But if it was for me calling you, and I was like, hey, but my friend's in let's say, I said, Bonner's Ferry, you'd be like, wait, hold on, let me patch you.
Yep, I'll transfer you to them. Yep.
Okay, maybe that's the word transfer. I don't know. I said patch. Sorry, transfer. Let me write that down.
No, that's perfect. That works too.
Okay, so then you would just transfer me, and then I would just be okay. Yeah, and then I would just talk to them. Okay.
You would be talking to Boundary County. Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. So it would be wherever I was located. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, you're thank you so much. And then you said the address to do that was at the 401 one, right?
If you want me to just the one from Bonner County, it's 4001.
Oh, 01. Okay, 40.
Boyer.
Okay.
I can get you Boundary County's address if you want it.
Okay, and then you gave me their number, the 208-267-3151, so I can just call them as well.
Yep. And then do you want their address?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Hold on 1 second for me. Okay, so Boundary County Sheriff's Office is 6438 Kootenai Street,
Mm-hmm.
and that's in Bonner's Ferry.
Okay. And okay, perfect. And then would I have to do 2 separate requests then, or? Okay.
Yep.
You've been so helpful, and sorry that I've taken up your traffic.
Oh, no, you're totally fine. Yep, you'll have to do both. So once we usually transfer it, sometimes we don't always stay on the line. So if you're wanting that and the law enforcement record, we don't have Boundary County's records on ours.
Okay.
So you'd have to do one here and then one there.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. And then once I get
An office, they'll be able to see how long it'll take. I don't know how long it usually takes for.
Yeah, they usually, I mean, it's like, I don't know, like 3 to 5. I remember it's like 3 to 5 days or something like that. They're usually pretty good about it. And then if I have a question about like the CAD notes, since you do the dispatching, are those questions that you could answer, like to explain any of like the dispatching, like if you were to send out like police?
You'd have to get those from the public records department.
Okay, do that too. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You've been very helpful. I appreciate your help.
I'm glad I can help you. You have a good day, okay?
Okay, hon, you too. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Okay, bye-bye. Boom. Oh. All right. Well, welcome to the transparency if you guys are new here. Those of you guys have been following the Idaho4 case. Those of you guys that have been following the Brian Drake case, who killed Brian Drake, a chiropractor. And I've been advocating for the innocence of Dr. Moore, who's another chiropractor and who I believe has absolutely nothing to do with, killing Brian Drake. And I said it from day one that there was something up with the 911 calls, and I'm right. And I wanted you guys to hear it all for yourselves. It's very, very important to understand that the wife was allegedly on the phone with him when her husband was shot, okay? And based on the tower that she was at, okay? Based on the tower that she was at, you guys just heard it there in real time. She looked it up. She found it, and she said, oh, yeah, it came in. It hit off of our tower, which is in Sandpoint. Now, Sandpoint is 45 minutes away from Hayden, where the wife said she was sitting on her couch. The wife couldn't have called and been sitting on a couch in Hayden. It would have been dispatched to her home county, which is Kootenai County, which is where like Ann Taylor's at, Coeur d'Alene is Hayden over there. So what we just heard here in real time, you guys heard it for yourselves. I have the cell tower now that it hit off of the original 911 call. And this was a call that was not on her cell phone. This is a call that came from a different line because we have all of her phone records. And in her phone records, and she says it in her own interviews with the police, like, they don't have my 911 call. Well, you guys just heard it right there. We do have a Jennifer Drake, okay? And it's what number, okay? And because on her, it's like, what time was that phone call at? You know what? And maybe I should call back right now and see if I can find out what time that call was at. So maybe that's a better question to ask is, what time was that phone call at? She was very, very kind. So let me see if she can give me that information. Let's see. Oh, hi, Tiffany. I just spoke with you. I was online. Do you know the time that I could put on it when I'm writing down the date of the 911 call? I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay.
Okay.
Give me her, Jennifer. What was the last name? Was Drake? I'll give her a case number. I can give you a case number.
Yeah, that would help too. I just realized as I was filling out, like I was putting like the date, and I was like, you know what? So I have.
Actually, I can't give you a case number because we don't have. I'll give you the call number.
Okay, and then that's fine. The call number, and then do you have like the time? Okay. And then the call number was
630
630. What was the rest of it? I'm sorry.
892.
892. Okay, perfect. Because I'm doing this online. I think it's letting me do it. Okay, perfect. All right, thank you so much, Tiffany. Appreciate your help. Okay, bye-bye. All right, thanks. OMG. Fuck. All right, guys, check out this math that I'm about to show you guys. All right, let me put up Hector here. Okay, Bonner's Ferry. The way that Idaho works is you got Coeur d'Alene / Hayden over here. Then you got Sandpoint in the middle. And then you got Bonner's Ferry. So like Sandpoint is like you're in between. So it's like an hour and a half to get from Hayden to Bonner's Ferry. It's like an hour and a half. So like your middle point is 45 minutes is Sandpoint. All right. Now let's go and take a look at Hector, the projector here. Okay. So window. All right. So if you add, check this out. The first call that Jennifer Drake made to Brian that he said he was with patients was at 6:42. 45 minutes later would be literally at that time. Okay? Like that's what's going to put you in Sandpoint. So take a look at this. I've always said that I thought that this happened way before, this time of 7:29, that I thought that this actual phone call here was more of the time frame that Dr. Drake was, in fact, shot. Now, what we can prove is that this 911 call did not happen in Hayden. Okay, it happened 45 minutes away from Hayden, but also 45 minutes away from Bonner's Ferry, because let's say that this is Idaho, and let's just say that this is Sandpoint, this is Bonner's, and this is Hayden. Okay, so to travel the length from here to here is an hour and a half. But the length to travel here to here is 45 minutes. So this 911 call at 7:29 was made in Sandpoint. Okay? So it's no way possible. You guys just heard it hit off of a tower in Sandpoint, because that's where it was set. That's why when I did my Kootenai County request from 7 to 8 p.m., okay, there is no call. Okay, because she did not call while being in Hayden. This call allegedly is at 7:29, and now we're going to be able to find out what phone made this call. Now, so again, when 911 was called, this is what always happens when you call 911, wherever you're at, it goes to the closest tower. All right. So Jennifer Drake is saying that she was in Hayden on her couch when this happened. Well, guess what? No, you weren't. Okay. You were somewhere in Sandpoint, because it hit off of, and we just heard the woman say it hit off of a tower. So she claims that at 7:26, because she said I called him and we were on the phone from 7:17 until 7:26, and she said the last 15 seconds of this call before it hung up was her husband said, "Oh, I had just been hit. I just been hit. Oh my God, I think I was just shot through the window." And then the phone goes black. That's what she says. And then she looks at her phone, her cell phone, while she's talking to the police, and she's like, "Oh my God, I didn't call 911. They didn't, I don't, what, huh? Like, I don't have a 911 call here." But she's like, "But I did everything from this phone, and I was on my couch in Hayden." Well, what Sandpoint says they have is at 7:29, they have a phone call from an alleged Jennifer Drake, and at 7:29, it hit off of the tower of not somewhere in Hayden, but actually in Sandpoint, which would mean this is 45 minutes away, okay? Which means, A, she's not been truthful, which I knew, but now I'm putting her 45 minutes away from Bonner's and 45 minutes after the first call at 6:42, which I've always said that I believe that everything is closer to this time. So again, there's no way that you're sitting on a couch in Hayden and that your 911 call is hitting off of a tower 45 minutes away from you. And that you didn't use your regular cell phone. What number truly called 911? Because it's not on her phone records. Unless she called not from her phone at 7:20. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like, I just called. I already got the request. There's nothing out of this county. And you guys just heard it. It came in first here, and then we patched it here. Period. So now we've just put the wife, who I believe this was a hit. Okay. This was why else would you lie about where you're at? If you were truly sitting on your couch next to your daughter, which that's where the 911 call would go back to. That's not where the 911 call originated. The 911 call originated. Now let's look at her phone's geolocate. Did she have her geolocate on? Did she even have her cell phone? Did she trade cell phones with her son? And now I want to know, I have one question. This is the easiest stuff. This is 101 that any cop would look at. So explain to me how any investigator, how ISP possibly missed this. You can't miss this. I mean, this is, you would see the 911 log and realize, wait a second, that 911 call hit in Sandpoint, which is 45 minutes away. Okay. And everybody thinks that this case is so nuts. You guys, I mean, this is just somebody that lied to law enforcement and should just be like immediately, like, you bring them, haul them back in, and you sit them back down. And then this is the person that should have been grilled into, you know, a type of situation that, okay, well, we have the phone records. We know where you were, you know, blah, blah, blah. So then that's where the question lies. Now we have Idaho State Police that look almost like they're part of it or part of covering it up. So and Tiffany Wood-Dow, I'm going to have to send her a goodie bag, right? I mean, I'm blown away right now because in real time, we just got told that I never knew this before because I did not have this information, but the girl knew the tower. I know the tower now where this 911 call hit. Do you guys understand that? Like we just got told, holy shit, man, everything that you've been saying and you've been providing, like boom, boom, boom. Well, here we just got the biggest bomb of dispatch saying, okay, yeah, I have it right here. It hit off of our tower. Wait, what? You have it? Yeah, it hit off of our tower at 1929. That's 7:29 p.m. That means in order to be in Sandpoint, you'd have had to either leave way earlier that you were just there sitting around, or at least by the very tail end of 6:45. And there'd be no reason to start heading that way at 6:45 unless the 6:42 call was actually the, 45 minutes away from your home, where you say that you're chilling on your couch, talking to your husband with your daughter next to you, and that you hear your husband scream out, and he tells you he's been hit, and then he was shot through the window. There's no 911 call on your phone. And then now we have the logs and we look at them, and now we're able to tell that the person who actually made this 911 call, which in open court in the preliminary hearing, they said that it originated in Kootenai County. Do you guys understand what I'm about to show? I have the transcripts from the preliminary hearing of Dr. Moore for allegedly killing Dr. Drake. And in it, Jennifer Drake is questioned in the preliminary hearing, and she says that yes, and so does the prosecutor, the police witness, and then Jennifer Drake say where she was, which was at her house home in Hayden, and that she called the Kootenai County, that's Hayden, Coeur d'Alene, and then it was patched through. And the reason that Isaac Funderburg's call, the reason that his came in before Jennifer Drake's was because of all the patching through. And that's why Isaac Funderburg's call. Well, this whole time I've said, well, guess what? We've actually never seen Isaac Funderburg's phone. We don't know Isaac Funderburg. We just have, I have the 911 call that he allegedly made. We still don't have, I want to see his phone. I want to see where he was when he made the call. They've been using all the surveillance for this time. They need to start looking at the surveillance of this time and everything around this point to see what cars. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable that in the preliminary hearing, all of the prosecution, to include the police, ISP, to include Jennifer Drake, got up on the stand and said, yeah, I was sitting at home. Yep. I called 911 and I called Kootenai County, and they dispatched me, and then they patched me through. And now here, I'm just fucking shocked that we now have the actual tower of the 911 call, and why it was wherever you're located at when you call 911 is where they send you. In her phone, when this call was made, was hitting off of a tower that was 45 minutes away from her home. And it would be 45 minutes closer to Bonner's Ferry because it's in the middle at Sandpoint. Which, if we go off of the 6:42 phone call that she had with him when she said it was 13 seconds and he told me that he was still with patients, well, then why did he even answer, in my opinion? He answered to say, I'm still with patients, running late, I'll call you back. And that's when she said, he then called me back at 7:17. And I've always said it, I don't believe that that was Brian Drake calling at 7:17. I believe that was all, part of like the staging of, X, Y, and Z, whatever was going on over there at the office. But if you take 6:42 and you add 45 minutes onto it, it puts you right around 7:29, and that would put you also at the halfway point. This is fucking wild, man. I'm just proving the corruption in Idaho and that the ISP detectives were in on it. She's in on it. Bonner's Ferry was in on it. And I think that they were able to, I don't think that these dispatchers have any idea what's going on because they're not privy to any, they just do their job. They don't go and get to see any of these reports. This is really, really crazy. And for Jennifer Drake to say that she was on her couch in Hayden with her daughter sitting next to her, I know where her daughter was. Her daughter was with a good friend of the family's playing with another kid. Totally not with her. None of her kids were with her. This is sick, man. And it's to see that this would be like the first thing that you would check into. You go hard for spouses. There was $1 million life insurance policy that was paid out within 3 weeks. And there was no suspects. Nobody was ruled out. It's just unbelievable. Woo! Damn. I need a minute. Fuck me, man. I'm speechless. I'm speechless for the communication that we just had. People that might not be following this case maybe don't realize how big of this is a bombshell right now. It'd be like me calling up Moscow and them telling me that, oh, yeah, I was able to look up the 911 call. Yeah, where'd that 911 call originate? Oh, it originated in Pullman. That's just the kind of like bombshell I just received right here, okay? Like, whoa. Holy. Like, that's just like, then you'd be like, wait, what do you mean, Pullman? I thought Dylan was inside the house, or I thought Bethany and it originated inside the house. Well, no, actually the phone was hitting off of a tower in Pullman. So like, that's just kind of like the bombshell that we received in the case of the Brian Drake cases. We just got confirmation that no, the 911 call was coming off of this tower at 7:29, and that was the first one. Nothing came in from Kootenai County. Holy shit. So this woman was not in Hayden. Like, this is proof. I already knew this, but this is like double proof. We got the tower. Oh my God. It was, woo. Wow. And the prosecutors had this. And then they pull the 911 call from evidence that they submitted. I've never seen this ever happen in a preliminary hearing, that they got both sides to stipulate to, oh, this is the boundary. This is the boundary county. We don't have the Kootenai County one. This is just the boundary 911 portion. And I said, well, wouldn't you ask them where the Kootenai County one was to be able to prove that she was actually, in fact, in Hayden as she says she was? Because right now we don't have anything that says she was in Hayden, especially that her phone shows that she didn't even call 911 from that. Like, who the fuck isn't doing like their due diligence to somebody's telling you they were someplace? Like, this would be able to be found out in like 2 seconds, right? But we got people that want to stipulate to the fact that she was in Hayden when she called 911. Why just proved it on a live broadcast in real time that Jennifer Drake was anywhere but Hayden? Jennifer Drake was in Sandpoint when that 911 call was placed at 7:29 because that's the tower it hit off of, 45 minutes away from her home in Hayden. It's also, though, 45 minutes away from Bounders Ferry, okay, because it's the middle point, and that would be 45 minutes after 6:42, which puts you right in this ballpark. So she waited until what? She got out of there and then called at that point in time. And I've always said that they had, they did the shot through the window, which was, the shot through the window was that was the red herring, you know? And so it was like, wait till you get out a little bit. We're going to act like you still were talking to him at that point. And so the shot through the window, she couldn't get to she totally messed up, but they got this Isaac Funderburg kid, who I think was either told to say this because he actually saw the police shoot through the window. He might have seen something, but he was told to say stuff because none of it makes sense what the fuck he says. Then we have the Steve Hartman guy that was, the suspect. I can't, I have no words right now. This is some sick shit. This is ISP. These are, detectives. I'm proving corruption on my channel in real time. And this is just, I can't even believe this. And that poor girl, Tiffany, doesn't even, whoa. With that said, I'm going to, again, comb through the surveillance cameras of around 6:42 and see what cars are coming and leaving. This is unbelievable. And who would suspect the person on the phone, Danielle? I think it's kind of like, what would be the odds that somebody that's talking to their husband or wife, they're talking to them and that's when they get shot? Like, you're creating like this alibi. But she lied about her alibi. And she was not in Hayden and her daughter was not sitting next to her. I interviewed Beth, the friend. She told me flat out. She told me flat fucking out, man. But she had that. It's in all of her text messages. Jennifer Drake says that her daughter is at a friend's house. Then she comes out and tells the world in 2023 that she wants help finding her husband's killer and lies to all of us and says that she was at home on the couch with her daughter and that she'll never forget it. It was a memory that's ingrained forever. Like, what a fucking sociopath. She should be arrested immediately. This is obstruction of justice. If anything, she should be fucking arrested for obstruction of justice. Lying to the police in a criminal matter is obstruction of justice, and she should be arrested right now for it. Like I told people out there, Jennifer Drake needs to stop worrying about me and my freedom of speech and my First Amendment, and she'd still get herself one fuck of a criminal defense attorney. This is truly sick. And anybody that's her friend and is involved in this, I'm telling you right now, y'all are going to get in a lot of trouble, man. A lot of trouble. You might just want to take your happy asses right down to the police department and say, I was lied to. I can't believe what I know some stuff. I didn't think it was relevant. Now I'm finding out some information. I need to come clean. I think, Jennifer Drake was off the map. Nobody could find her. Where was she? Jennifer Drake does not have an alibi. Um, I'm speechless. I can't believe this. Insurance fraud too? Oh, fuck yeah, it's insurance fraud. I've never seen somebody pay out like that so quick. Little bit. What's up? Member for 8 months, baby. Woo woo. Little bit. Get down, baby. Get down. Mod Squad giving everybody some love, making everybody go green in here. Aw. Well, she opened the damn door to let all the info. Yeah, I can't even believe it. She started a civil suit, and that's how this all got rolling. The Brian Drake story is history here. What do you mean by it's history? It's coming back. It's coming back. It definitely is. I'm curious what that means by history. Another thing that I was able to find out is Isaac Funderburg's whole damn family runs that whole damn Kootenai Valley motel. And that's where Brian Drake, before he was starting to sleep in his office, was allegedly getting rooms at. And I was also told, again, a source, I've heard it from multiple people. I guess Isaac Funderburg's mother is a little floozy. So, again, it is what it is. But the testimony that Jennifer Drake gave, or I should say the interview that she gave to the police, ISP, was talking about how Brian was spending nights at this alleged hotel, and it was just, oh my God, it was so horrible. Jennifer said, she's like, oh no, I just went out and got him. We were like, let's just go get you a pull-out couch, and you can just sleep at your office on Mondays and Thursdays. And this is the only hotel that would be considered like a motel. The other one's connected to the casino. And when I did my paper trail, well, what are the odds that Isaac Funderburg, who's the 911 other caller and is a witness, him and his whole family ran that. He has a Subaru. They have a Honda Ridgeline. And then their family's running that hotel, which I wonder if they knew. I mean, when you guys, let me tell you something. A couple of my friends worked at hotels, okay? And they would love to, like, when they knew that people stayed in the hotel, they knew, like, who they were. They would go to clean these rooms, and they would freaking go through the people's rooms and be like, oh, my God, they had condoms in there. I know, they were bringing so-and-so through there. Like, they were totally cheating on Susie, blah, blah, blah. Back in the day when you'd make your phone calls, you'd be able to see everybody that person called from the hotel phone. I mean, I'm dating myself a little bit here, but like 18, 19, 20 years old, listening to the people as I would go away to college. When I would come home for like Thanksgiving break, Christmas break, I'd get all the local gossip, like, oh my God, so-and-so is doing this and so-and-so is doing that. And I'm like, how do you know this? Oh, they brought him to the hotel. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'd get all the gossip. So when you work at a hotel and you're cleaning rooms, or, you're going in somebody's room after they check out, and anything that you throw away in the garbage, it's free game. And so I would hear about people's sex toys. I'd hear about people's condoms. I'd hear about, who people were calling, what they were ordering. Oh God, they were ordering all Skinamax, and they were doing this. And so, anyways, Sheraton Hotel. I know exactly what you're talking about, Lana. I don't know about the Sheraton Hotel. Is there a Sheraton Hotel in Bonners? So, yeah, so I would always get the gossip. But now think about this little town, and they're just, And so here's Jennifer. Well, I can't have my husband staying in a hotel. I'm curious as to why. Because how could a pull-out couch be, you got the guy that has a horrible back, you got the guy that now has a broken leg, and he's sleeping in a pull-out couch in his office versus staying on a hotel bed. I'd rather hear the fact that it's too much money. Like, we're paying $100 a night, so it's $200 a week. That's like, you might as well rent out an apartment in Bonners for $800 a month. I don't know how much money it is. Hotel rooms, what, $7,500 a night? And I just this is crazy. Wow, Lana Boom, you're amazing. That woman is ice cold. Oh, she's a fucking ham, man. She's a big old liar. She's a manipulator. She plays her cards. I mean, I blew up her spot, but she plays like she's stupid. She ain't stupid. She was running the house just like Shanann was running the house for Chris Watts' case. She knew exactly what was going on. She was trying to say that her husband couldn't even have Google on his phone, okay? Because he would Google porn. Like, what? What guy doesn't Google porn? I'm sorry, but just like, isn't that so weird? You've been married to somebody for how many years, and who gives a shit if he Googles porn? If you're going to divorce somebody because they Google porn, like, you're jealous of that? Or like, what? I mean, I can see if he's Googling porn while you're home laying in bed and he's choosing to roll over and watch porn and not bang you out, I guess then therefore you'd be jealous, or you'd have a problem with it. Who the hell knows? But there's people that, especially them, I heard they were maybe swingers. Again, that's just out there. That is not sourced. But this guy has such a porn problem that you have to have Google be disabled so that the guy can't Google porn or something. How is he providing counseling for Hunter, one of their friends, and his porn addiction? Like, I mean, this is the shit that was in the interview process. This is the stuff that's like that she is saying in her interviews with these detectives. And I'm over here like, wait, what? I don't even know. I've heard of couples using porn together and then getting in the mood and then taking their asses upstairs and saying, let's get in the sack, babe. I mean, just think that that's just right, like, just crazy. And then a couple of the interviews I've come across is that they had these church groups, but they always had them at each other's houses. And that they only wanted, like, there are certain people in it, like these three couples in it. And it's like, I don't know. We cannot let anybody else into our Bible study group because this is just our little circle of swapping. I think it has something to do with swingers, but that's just me. And the reason I think that, though, guys, is there's interviews out there with the family saying that, Jennifer herself saying that they engaged in it in some type of capacity. Then Jennifer's asked if Brian ever drugged her. And she said, oh my God, like, he took pictures of me. He has a ton of pictures of me. But your sister said that, yeah, Brian drugged her and she was out of it and then took pictures of. Whose husband does that? Nobody gives their wife drugs and then takes pictures of them naked. How do you possibly swing that into an okay event? I just wouldn't think that you would have to do that if you're just so giving of the nudes. Like, I don't know. Lana, do you think that Jennifer and Brian were running scams prior to this? Absolutely. They were scamming their church. They were scamming families. You know, I think that the knee thing, I think that the back, yeah, 100%. Total con artists, yes. And I don't know if maybe something went way wrong and Brian was not supposed to die and he accidentally died. But I don't. I know that family was definitely engaged in, like, their image was everything and their image was not. Like, behind closed doors, that's not what they are. I think that Jennifer's manipulative. I mean, she's a pathological liar. My husband has never cheated on me. He is slapping girls' asses and losing his job over, like, damn, all the positions I'd get in. Like, I can't even. Your husband's a big pervert. And, hey, to each their own, but I don't know. For such a controlling person, I don't know how Jennifer would possibly be okay with him being away and sleeping, you know, Mondays and Thursdays away from the house for someone that has such a trust issue that you can't even let your husband be on the Google, you know, like, to be able to Google. His Google locations wasn't on. There's no trust there, and it's just whack shit. And then he was drinking all the time. He was filling up water bottles of vodka, like your little Aquafina bottles that you would buy just to have water in them. Well, his were filled up with vodka. But then the crazier part is that anybody who's drinking vodka just out of water bottles, you're usually not mixing that with, like, beer, cans of beer. There was no mini fridge in his office, but yet there were 3 cans of beer in the garbage can, and then there was 2 water bottles full of vodka, and then there was an actual, like, you know, bottle of vodka in his car. And it's like, I think he had all that because he was hanging out with people, like, I don't know who would ever think that they could have a garbage can full of alcoholic cans and you're a chiropractor, and that when your clients are coming in to see you, when they're in the exam room and they just look and they see that you have beer cans in your, you know, your garbage can. Like, what? So that's why I'm like, I think that those cans would have been placed there after any patients would have left, because who wouldn't you kind of be like to yourself, hey doc, what are these beer cans in here for? I think I would be asking my chiropractor why he has beer cans in the garbage can. Who's working? Is he drunk? And then he's drinking out of these water bottles of vodka. Like, doesn't he reek of alcohol? So I don't know if it was like a setup and they placed the stuff there to make it, you know, but very interesting. It's all, I mean, I think it's all a set, like everything to do with that office and how they say he was killed. None of it adds up. We did it all. So it is all staged. And now I'm starting to wonder if the vodka bottles and the vodka in the car, if that had some staging in those beer cans, you know, because when did those beer cans have a chance to be placed in that garbage can to be, like, actually physically drank and to, like, be enjoyed? If and in fact he was finishing up with his last client and then he calls her immediately, after his last client leaves. How was he able to chug in a 9-minute period, in an 8-minute period, 3 full cans of beer that would have been warm because he doesn't have a mini fridge? So where do you pull these cans from? Just none of it makes any fucking sense. And nobody, these detectives look around each other and then they go jerk off or some shit because I don't understand how you look at this crime scene and you say, yeah, this all looks great. Lana, the town meeting is on YouTube. There's a town meeting on YouTube? Is it on right now? Lana, there's another case going on in Bonners right now that's getting heated up from possibly law enforcement cover-up. Lana, watch Bonners County town meeting today. Oh, let's look it up. I love a good reaction video. That's all we need. Let's see. Is it on Bonners? Harry, what's the name of the channel? Land of the town meeting. So it's probably about me. Do chiropractors have to have a female nurse in the room when they are treating a female patient? I don't know, but I heard there was a lot of grunting going on in his rooms. I don't know, that's what I was told. Let me see. Hunter's Ferry Town Council meeting. See if it comes up. Oh, wait, here we go. We got November 7th, 2023. We have, maybe it's the Boundary County Watchman. Let's see videos. I got the fuck is this? I got the Bonners Ferry City Council golf issues. Jesus. Well, I got the Boundary County Watchman. Is that what it is? Is it City Council? Boundary County. I got the Boundary County Bonners Ferry City Council meeting. I got November 7th. That's the one I got, 2023. I mean, $17 views. If anybody knows what channel it's on, I'll show a little something in the meantime. I don't know if this is it. I got the
We have nobody up to it.
I didn't think there was, but I thought check this. Okay, reports, police.
Ryan could not be here tonight, and so the reports are, we got 3 new vehicles, 3 new used vehicles that will be here possibly as soon as tomorrow. Firearms, shotguns, and new patrol rifles, and we're waiting on optics for patrol rifles before we go to the range to get certified on those and put them into use. We also have our newest police officer here, Kenny Schumacher. Got sworn in on the 4th of October and is in his first phase of field training right now.
Welcome aboard. Thank you.
That it? Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Does anybody know?
City administrator.
I have no idea.
City engineer.
We got 3 things to share tonight. The golf course shed is under construction. Kenny and Steve got the concrete poured, and so we have stem walls, and they actually have the walls built and the roof built, and it's in pieces up on the hill in the shop, and they're going to put it together soon, probably this week. And so that's good news. We should have that covered, everything in the next 2 weeks. So that was yeah, it's moved pretty quick and that's going well. Ron?
Yeah, is that replacing one or is that a new one?
That is replacing the one on the upper pond. In fact, that one was removed about 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
And they started building on it last week. So yeah, and some really good news at the hydro. The controls project that we started here a few months ago. Well, several months ago as far as just the design of the controls and everything, but construction is, you know, the installation and startup is nearly complete. And right now at this moment we have
The last
all
one
the
I
units
saw was
running.
December
The
7th.
only one that's not running right now is
I
unit
can't
1,
find the December 7th
because
one.
the turbine is out.
They must have taken it down.
Parts are being refurbished right now for number 1. And so good news, you know, that project that we've been talking about for a long time is complete. And as you guys know, that was funded partly by the Governor's Office of Energy.
Yeah. No.
And as you guys know, that was funded partly by the Governor.
Yeah, so we'll see. That one's going to be probably, we'll see the applications go out in about a year, and then we'll construct over 2 years after that. The other project is the Moye Spring Sewer Project. As you know, there was an issue with the engineering firm asking for more money for work that had already been completed. The council is going to address it, I think, for the last time this Wednesday at Moye, but DEQ has said that they can't use DEQ funds to pay those increases, so I'm guessing that'll be the end of that. The engineering firm has asked for extra money for the future phases, like the construction part of it, which the council might consider that. I don't think they'll be getting their $300,000 for the project.
Okay, under old business, discuss and consider options of having the city Christmas party or gift cards.
So Mayor, you'd asked, and council asked, decided to be tabled for staff to go back and work with our staff as well as any of the volunteers, and I presented to you a memo stating their interest is split.
We are discussing what we should be giving people for Christmas gifts.
Didn't mind the party, and I think a lot of ones that would normally come, like a gift card idea, but I have staff. I did not reach out to any volunteers.
Great. Yes, Mayor. I don't think we need to have a Christmas party at city expense. However, I do think we need to recognize city.
I'm sorry. You guys, should we be having a Christmas party at the city expense or not? Okay, this is some serious shit. Bonnet County Commissioner meeting live. Bonner or Bonnet? This is Bonner's Ferry. This is very important shit here. We want to know if we should have a Christmas party or not, and it should be on our dime.
You have an idea for that?
Yeah.
You know, the monetary amount, you mean?
Yeah, because we talked about doing gift cards.
Yeah. Yeah, and those gift cards, I'm assuming will be local, so
Yes.
that's help that too. Right. Yeah. What do we normally, Lisa? What do we normally have? Did we do the gift cards 1 year? Or?
That's been several years ago that we did that.
So we've done gift cards where at the party itself, there might be a raffle. I never purchased those, so I don't know how much they were. I think they're about
$25, yeah.
But we've never done an idea like this where all the employees are offered. My suggestion was that we would just have them sign up for the place where they want to get their gift card.
We're in this big room.
Getting some and then realizing that maybe there was some leftovers.
You also have an amount?
When I brought this up originally, my suggestion was a $50 gift card. So discuss that.
So how many employees would that entail?
$50 gift cards to who? What? Employees.
35.
35 employees.
Does that count the newest police officer?
No, he's left off.
We want to leave
Just
that.
kidding. Of course it does.
35. That's all they have is 35 people employed. There's so $1,500. Who gives a shit?
I guess weighing that against having a party is probably
Wait, you guys found it
about half of what a party would be.
7 hours ago?
Actually, it's less because the one quote that we got was about $6,000.
Okay.
So this would be about $1,750. So if we wanted to do this, I would suggest that we would maybe set a cap of $2,000 on it in case we miss somebody here.
We have it for volunteers as well.
This doesn't include the volunteers.
So we have 2 commissions. We have a golf commission and a
Fuck them.
And then we have volunteers that work at the visitor center. So I think we would probably discuss, I guess, whether or not we want to do that with the volunteers, but we might be some concern about commission members being eligible to receive those gifts. How many volunteers?
Bonner County Commissioners meeting today. Let me see. Okay.
Over the 2,000 cap.
Bonner's County Commissioners meeting. That's what I didn't do. Here it is, guys. Oh yeah, gotta get heated. This better be good. I want to see some.
Behavior will be grounds for removal from the board meeting by the chair.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. So, good morning. We've now done the pledge. I have added a new component to the agenda, and this will be going on every week. And it's Robert's Rules of Order and how we are going to conduct ourselves as a board of county commissioners. Why order? And I also want to begin with the agenda, which will partially address some of the concerns that was brought forward last week. I'm going to start with Idaho statute. Authority of this board starts with statute, and that comes from the Constitution, and it is delegated to us as county officials. But it initially rises from the sovereign citizens of this country, and they delegate that authority to our government. We have made that decision. Statute is what guides us in our actions. Now, Idaho Code 74-204, which is Transparent and Ethical Government, Chapter 2, Open Meetings Law. And it says notice of meetings and agendas. This is our regularly scheduled business meeting. And the regularly scheduled business meeting, so no less than 5 calendar days meeting notice and a 48-hour agenda notice.
Wait, this
now, what does it
isn't
say about the agenda?
Wait, this was 7 hours ago. Is this not the right one? Jesus, how many fucking meetings do y'all have? Let's see. This one was 7 hours ago. This one was 7 days ago. This one, 7 days ago.
There are tons of people in Bonner County, but when you have people that fill the room, whichever side you're on, you fill Zoom, we owe it to them to make sure that they're heard. What you're doing is say, listen to all of this and then stay longer. So I would like you to explain how not allowing them to speak first and listen to district reports first is in the best interest of the community, because the business of the county is actually the people. And so you really should be including the people on, would you like to wait until the end to speak? Because more and more we stifle the comments unless they're slated in the direction that the two of you want to go. But if you truly care about the people, why don't you open this up? Because you went straight to a vote. Why don't you open it up and say, would you like the option to leave after those two? Or would you like to wait the sometimes 3 hours it takes us to get through the other stuff? Because there might be something someone else has to do. So if you truly care, you would open it up to the people that are here.
Thank you for your comments. Roll call vote.
No, it's intentionally disingenuous to the public and a political stunt. It's not reasonable. Now you've made it so that every employee and every person of the public has to sit through a very long discussion only because you want to control, here's the point, all of the legal opinions that have come out that he doesn't want you to hear.
No, or abstain.
And I will actually give, so what I get to
Yes.
do, so wait,
Continue with the vote, Madam Clerk.
you don't get to bypass my vote. You actually don't.
Well,
It doesn't
there's
matter.
3 options of which you seem unable to be able to provide a yes, no, or abstain answer. So my vote is yes. Please proceed with the vote, Madam Clerk.
So the clerk
Yes.
does not
The
have the
motion-
right to, you
the
don't get
motion
to bypass
passes.
the commissioner's
We are
vote.
now,
For all three of you or just two of you?
Just the two.
the way it works in a
But-
democracy is
Can I
actually,
just, like do something about you behaving this way?
So what you have
the
is.
motion
you-
has passed.
The motion
We will now
hasn't
vote
passed.
on the way math works is that if 2 people vote in favor of something, that's a majority. So
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the order of agenda as amended.
again, I will step down from the chair and it is seconded. Roll call vote in regards to the amended order of agenda.
There's no actual amended agenda because you
I-
bypassed
I
my
was
vote,
just
and all you're going to
saying it
do
was
is get Lewis to
7
chime in
hours
and tell you
ago.
what you did was wrong. We need to cure it, so you're wasting our time.
Robert's Rules of
It
Order.
actually, you guys
I
don't,
agree.
you actually don't get to say I can't give a comment about how I'm voting. So you show me in Robert's Rules of Order that says it's yes, no only, no explanation of a vote.
I will do so, but
We'll do so in real time.
Well, we can't even get fucking the meeting going because these people can't even.
Since you're going to make a decision right now.
please carry on with the votes, Madam Clerk. Yes.
These two hate
Yes.
each other.
The motion passes. The order of agenda has been completed. Our first item on our amended agenda today is the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, based on the information before us, I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'm in the wrong link.
I will step down from the chair and second the motion.
This one says 7 hours ago. Bonners County. So you mean Bonners County Commissioners meeting today. That's what's up there. This is the one that's today. Is that the one?
An agenda shall be required for each intends to do a better job moving forward.
Where's
So
the-
as only a discussion item for today.
Wait a second. Where's the black chick? She's not here today? Oh my god, she didn't show up. She's like, fuck y'all. Look at.
Father God, I just thank you for the men and women that just help to make our community what it is. Lord, I pray for your divine love being poured out in our community, to be known, to be experienced. Pray, Father, that you would graciously forgive us, because there's a lot of times, God, that we mess things up. Thank you for giving us grace. I ask, Father, that the meeting today would just spark good conversations that's going to continue to allow this community
determination. It
Oh
is
my
not
God,
established
She didn't come back. She didn't come
in
back.
statute, which brings me into Robert's Rules of Order. Honey, in your packet of the memorandum.
Thank you.
And within
issue between the board and health insurance, when those bills come due, it's my.
So I went a little off topic, I guess. The 74,000, that's a yearly thing then?
It's all dependent on how many people win the lottery. It's on the tax that those people pay in from lottery winnings. So they're bigger. Usually they're not taxed unless they're a larger win. I have asked multiple times over the years what percentage, how they.
Agreement in front of you and the final plat approval. We're just recommending approval of the final plat.
The motion carries.
Their current terms are set to expire on December 15th, 2023, and they have expressed their desire to continue to serve.
When I say overlook, that's what that means. Is that going to then leave a hole in the 2024 budget for this project that's going to have to get filled from other?
Was the monitoring periods and financial records, plural, in which recreation satisfied and exceeded the in-kind match of fourth.
Spaces, we aren't talking, that is not the agendized motion.
I know, I'm talking about what he said.
Mr. Kramer, thank you.
Who does this guy think he is?
Is there any further public discussion in regards to the county signing the request for final closeout of grant number 21-DG 110104000- appoint the two other members? An interesting document. County funds go through because now no board can bind a future board's actions.
Under the prosecutor's.
Oh wait.
2, Idaho statute for those people. You will notice a theme, hopefully, in what I refer to, and I am not a lawyer, I am not playing one up here. Public monies are all monies coming into the hands of any treasurer of a depositing unit, of which there are 2 distinct treasurers.
Information, I believe that the prosecuting attorney's office and the sheriff need to issue an apology as big and bold as the accusations they made against her.
Fighting it. We do have access to some of that. And Cooney County may have been 20,000 a week or for a year. Our fair is much smaller. So I think it is good stewardship for you to get a bid from Ide Bailey, which I would highly recommend. So I think it's premature to say we can't afford them. And I think
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
The motion carries. Our next agendized item is public comment. And we will conduct public comment in the following fashion. We will go with the people that are present in the room first, followed by the people that are online, and then I will give any elected officials an opportunity if they have any comments they would like to make, even though they're public but not public.
Wait.
All right, Miss Amy Lunsford.
This is the one from today.
Amy Lunsford for the record. I've been coming to these meetings for months asking about the investigation on the Fair Board embezzlement and the inadequate reports made by Lewis Marshall, which were then circulated as facts by Sheriff Darrell Wheeler. And now we are told there are no records. I can understand the Board of Commissioners' stance on the Fair Board.
Now there's no records. Oh, you sick son of a bitches, burning up records.
Statement, no records. And it would be a waste of taxpayers' dollars to audit something that is not there. Apparently running the fairgrounds on bank statements alone have worked for many years for many different boards. I am glad that everyone on the Fair Board and the county are moving together to work together in a positive way. But still, it doesn't excuse the fact that several county employees and some volunteer whistleblowers accused Ms. Smith and possibly bullied her until her passing. Considering all the new information, I believe that the prosecuting attorney's office and the sheriff need to issue an apology as big and bold as the accusations they made against her. Several of these employees that were supposed to be helping Ms. Smith were part of the ICCO group. Was her issues discussed in these ICCO meetings? I believe the ICCO groups originally started as an ARPA spending fund committee, morphed into a gossip group of personal county business.
You gossip.
How will we ever know? Where is the ICCO members accountable to open meeting laws that I hear so much about? I am asking today that the elected officials that may have been privileged to the ICCO and are willing to come forward and shed light on this corruption. And if they're not willing to do this, I suggest to the public that these elected officials not be reelected.
Yes.
And to their subordinates of these elected officials that took part in the ICCO meetings, I ask that you please come forward with any information on the corruption that happened at the hands of the ICCO. But as I see it, all this shaming of Mrs. Smith was over a belt buckle and new boots.
What?
Or was this a smear campaign cooked up by someone who wanted Darcy gone and then was supported by Marshall and Wheeler? That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mrs.
Well said,
Lumpert.
ma'am.
Ms. Jennifer Kramer.
Kramer, isn't this the sheriff?
Jennifer Kramer for the record. Just two things. One, the RFP meetings for the audits you said were occurring this week, and I request that Asia Williams be part of those meetings. And then my other comment, earlier in the meeting, Luke, you mentioned you had a discussion that the board should follow the same procedure as the staff in submitting packets and memos, et cetera, for their agenda items. And so you didn't vote on it. You just both agreed that you should do that. And so I'm confused if that is the process that you intend to follow going forward. You clearly didn't do it with this whole Hayden Ross thing. So I'd like to understand what that exactly meant or what the outcome of that exactly is going to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Kramer.
Okay.
I will respond to that. There are certain functions of the Board of County Commissioners that do not all require an action item vote. I read to you at the beginning of the meeting.
Wait, why didn't he make a comment about the other thing?
Idaho Code 74-204. Yes, another retread of me stating Idaho Code. There is no clear line about how the board conducts their agenda process. It says there will be an agenda. And for certain administrative or ministerial functions, especially ones that do not involve the expenditure of public funds, it is up to the Board of County Commissioners to determine what their internal processes will be. Mr. Rick Kramer.
Rick Kramer for the record. So I'd like to have you put it on the agenda. You're using the Robert's Rules of Order, but the way you framed it is that you're just going to use the framework. So you'll pick and choose what you're going to use out of Robert's Rules of Order and not use it as a whole. So we as a community, we're not sure what rules you're going to pick and choose from. And I don't know if that's legal. Maybe there needs to be a legal opinion on it.
Let's ask the lawyer in the room.
What's that?
Oh, there isn't one.
Well, I was asking for a legal opinion, not yours.
Wait, where's Laura in the room? Who is this cocksucker? Who's the guy in the purple? Who is he? Who's the guy in the purple? Because I need to make a phone call. Can I get a name on this man? Oh, there's just no one. Well, I mean, who made you king, man? He's just literally taking his dick out and throwing it on the table right now. Who is the guy? Like, I think, Deborah, you are behind. Fast forward your time. Fast forward your time.
I'm asking you to put it on the agenda. The other thing I'd like to ask is you were asked to get legal opinion on posting public records requests online so people could all look at them. And when you didn't follow through last week, it came up again. I'd like to ask you if you submitted that to legal and if you got a response.
Mr. Kramer, I'm not going to engage in a dialogue with you, but after you're done, I will give you a partial response. There will be information forthcoming. There's your response. Our next speaker is Ms. Christina Nicholas Anderson.
There will be. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Hey, Bonners, just wondering, who's the guy that's wearing the pink shirt at the county commissioners meeting today? Like, you guys see who you're voting for? Like, do you see these guys that are wearing these big penis hats that y'all are voting for? I mean, maybe I need to start a new channel just called let's see the dicks that represent our counties. I mean, these people aren't sitting there because come on, man. Who would ever vote for this fucking tool? Who is this guy?
Hello again, Christina Nicholas Anderson for the record. There's been an increased interest in Fair Board meetings in recent months. Last night, there were over 30 people present. Myself and others have requested Zoom on at least 3 occasions without any acknowledgement or action. I'd like to request this board contribute to that discussion and or offer the necessary resources so that the Fair Board can facilitate the Zoom process, which would enable greater access for all members of our fair community. Thank you for listening to my comments.
I will reach out to the Fair Board and see about that, Ms. Anderson.
Thank you.
Is that primarily Zoom? Just Zoom you're seeking?
Zoom.
Like an owl?
We can't tell them that they need to do
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
We can say the people think it would be a good idea.
At some point, you are going to reap what you sow. Called you out for it, and then you responded to Jonna by saying, "How dare you?" Question.
Of our fair community. Thank you for listening to my comments.
Oh,
I will reach out to the Fair Board and see about that, Ms. Anderson. Is that primarily Zoom? Just Zoom you're seeking? Like an owl?
We can't tell them that they need to do that. We can just say the people think it would be a good idea.
I agree.
We have no authority over how they run their meeting.
I will say that Idaho code establishes that the Fair Board meetings are supposed, it establishes where they are. So that's why they do it. Our next speaker is Miss Maureen Patterson. Mrs. Oh. 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 Thank you, Mrs. Patterson. Mrs. Bowman.
Can I put my name
Susan
on
Bowman for the record. So last week, you offered an apology to Jonna Plant, who you called Miss Crawford. So you got her name wrong. But what you offered as an apology was that you, quote, muddled the Pledge of Allegiance. And so I'm here today to tell you that
You muddled the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm here to tell you that I am so sick and tired of you wearing them pink shirts and you muddling my allegiance. You guys.
everyone hear the whole truth of actually what did happen, which was back during your campaign, you wrote out the Pledge of Allegiance perfectly with the commas. Everything was written 100% perfectly, except for that you left out 2 words, under God. So
Oh my God. Okay, you guys see, I told you he was elected. He was voted on this cock. Okay, you guys voted for him. And now she's saying you knew how to spell and you knew our Pledge of Allegiance. And now you muddled it. And now you left out under God.
that's the actual truth of what happened. Jonna called you out for it, and then you responded to Jonna by saying, "How dare you question my faith?" Then fast forward to the Republican Central Committee censure meeting, where I stood up and again called you out for taking out the words "under God" from our Pledge of Allegiance. The next day, you went back onto Facebook to say, "Yeah, I messed up. I have no excuses." And then you made an excuse, which was that you, quote, fat fingered it. This is all in writing, and I can provide it to anyone that wants it. So people can make of that what they will. I personally believe that under God should never be taken out of the Pledge of Allegiance. And I have experienced that in one other place. That's in the communist state of Washington, where socialists often purposefully take out under God out of the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, why do they do that? Because it makes it so much easier to control people when they don't know that their rights come from God. So the Constitution doesn't give us our rights. God gives us our rights, and the Constitution protects them. So I find it very odd that you have not answered yet why you've taken out those words "under God" from the Pledge of Allegiance. But what I would say is that what we're watching here is tyranny in action. And I've experienced it already in the communist state of Washington. And here we are in Idaho experiencing it with you, Chairman Ahmed. And what you do is you regularly cut off people. You won't even listen to them on Zoom. You've cut people off on Zoom. You've actually cut their Zoom feed off. You play around. You know, your first action, really one of your first actions as commissioner was to take Zoom away. Okay. So the First Amendment, by the way, I'm just going to read it to you to remind you that Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. There's more to it than that, but Congress shall make no law. That means you can't either abridging the freedom of speech. Okay. What you're doing is abridging our freedom of speech, and you can smirk all you want, but we all know it's true. Okay. And we're going to ask you to stop. And at some point you are going to reap what you sow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. Bowman. Our next speaker is Mr. Welly.
And we're going to take care of that smirk. We're also going to take care of that pink fucking shirt. I can see that nobody likes this jerk, so.
Good morning, commissioners. Dan Welly for the record. One of the commissioners on this board is a history teacher, and he may recognize this comment from George Santayana. Those who forget the past are condemned to repeat it. Now, tagging on to that, I have here a portion of a comment made online by a person who happens to think very highly of that particular commissioner. And she made this comment: "He has made the difficult decision to come up against the corruption and lawlessness that has gripped our county offices." And then she goes on, "This man is quite literally working to restore law and order in our county." Using your comment from last week's board meeting, that you're looking forward You're not looking into the past. Failing to look into the past is going to prohibit you from going forward. It's going to be an anchor around your neck,
History repeats itself.
and it's going to prevent healing in this county. There are people here in this row who are very invested in what happened to their friend. And nobody in this county is going to be satisfied until that is dealt with explicitly, so they know the details around it. You can't do an audit wrong. A forensic auditor can go into the bank statements that were already brought up. They can make connections. They can end the problems that are going on here. And people have to understand it's going to go one way or the other. Something was wrong or something was not wrong. But when they have the evidence in front of them, they'll be more readily able to accept it. And then the community could go on and watch the Fair Board audit, watch this community grow, and it is going to grow. But until that happens, you're going to continue to have division and dissension. I'm going to call it at that because you already know that and you're avoiding it. And these people, all of us, don't appreciate that and don't deserve it.
Mr. Welly, I'm going to make a comment. You were in law enforcement for years.
Yes, I was.
And you may witness a crime, arrest somebody, take them in, press charges, present the evidence to the prosecutor, and then he turn and look at it. And I know you've been in that position and probably frustrate the heck out of you. Prosecutor goes, no, I don't see anything wrong. Where does your authority stop then?
There.
You can't go further with it. You're tied at that point.
Commissioner, you're wrong.
Well, you can go to the state.
No, may I answer you?
Yeah, you can't make the prosecutor prosecute.
No, I can't make him prosecute, but I can, if I believe there's evidence out there, go back and look for it. That's what a forensic accountant or a forensic auditor can do. We don't have that evidence. It's not here, but it hasn't been looked for either.
Bingo. And who has to do that looking for it? It falls under law enforcement and it falls under the prosecutor.
No.
We do not have that
In
authority.
this case, it actually falls under the Fair Board to hire, to show what they've done. Or the Attorney General, or the U.S. Attorney General.
Sure.
in charge of
No.
We can appoint them, remove them for cause. We cannot tell them this is the way you will keep your records. This is the way you will track your records. We don't have that authority. We can't go.
Commissioner Bradshaw.
We want you to make, all we can do is request. We can't make them do anything.
Commissioner Bradshaw, in the interest of getting back to public comment as we exercise our freedom of speech and our First Amendment, we have Mrs. Welly.
So,
So I come to you again, this Diane Welly with.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Anybody can go there, right? That lives there, put their name on a list and say, this is what I'm here to say, and use my First Amendment, right? So I will supply somebody from Idaho that lives in this town with a speech that says what it needs to say, and I need you to say it so that we can get some type of on the record comment from your commissioners. We want to talk about and so if I did that, that's what would happen, right? You could just talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Piece of the armor of God, the shield of faith. It covers our most vulnerable body part, our heart. This heavy shield can withstand the impact of fiery blows from the enemy.
Oh, everybody gets 3 minutes. That's right. I remember these.
The arrows, the shield protects us from are spiritual, but those spiritual arrows feel very real. Romans fired flaming arrows, but today the arrows are often fired via snide comments in the workplace, emails, and social media. We need the spiritual protection that the shield provides us now more than ever. Those of us who do pray that God will arm us, and we will take the shield up all the while the enemy fires arrows of hate, doubt, and deceit. My God stated that he came to this world to testify to the truth, and I pray to do the same today. This board, and the public has allowed hate and deceit to take over Bonner County. This is the most beautiful place to live, but right now it is the most hateful place I can imagine. I believe that hate began right here in this building. I believe it did not begin with this board, but it has come to full fruition with this board. Commissioner Bradshaw, you, more than anyone, should be an example of understanding and kindness. You've demonstrated the opposite. You have demonstrated the anger on many occasions in front of people right here and people not in attendance. I'm asking that you set your hatred aside and make the change in your soul that you know you must. This county needs peace. An apology from you.
Hell yeah, she is like Mama 101 in his ass. Holy shit. Whoever this woman is, can I interview her?
To the many people here that have seen your frightening temper would go far to healing this country.
Frightening temper.
Or the county, I'm sorry. Commissioner Ahmad, your rude behavior and condescending attitude toward individuals in the public and your fellow commissioner is appalling. You don't have to like us, nor her, but genuine, not theatrical courtesy would go far in changing opinions of you. Today you sit in the chairman's seat. Be the leader that the military trains soldiers to be. You are fully aware that a leader has certain qualities that make people want to follow them. Good leaders possess self-awareness, credibility, humility, and are role models. They build trust and understanding by encouraging others to seize initiative. They don't take over every role, knock others out of the way, and they don't end debate by storming out of the room. I am sure that the leaders you most admired gave you room to maneuver and succeed. Commissioner Williams isn't here, but she will hear this, I'm sure. While I have greatly admired your initiative and drive, and we all know I've become greatly distressed at what I believe to be growing physical danger for you, I believe you feed into Commissioner Almond and Bradshaw's
Mrs. Welly,
anger.
your time has expired. Thank you for your comments. Mr. Borisov, do you have comments to make today?
Yes.
Please step forward.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Who are you again?
Dmitry Borisov, for the record. A lot of people have already touched on those issues, but I believe they're important, and I will talk about them again. First of all, I remember when the Robert's Rules of Order were adopted, the resolution was passed to adopt Robert's Rules of Order. It was not passed as to adopt it them as a framework, if I remember correctly. So, and that's kind of, even if, so I cannot see it, I'm sorry, from here, but this was, I remember from my memory. And to me, it seems to be very disingenuous when things like this are done, because it means I can pick and choose which rules I can follow and I cannot follow. So I'd like to please fix this. And the other thing is, I hear a lot right now, especially coming from the chairman, about transparency and about open to the public, about how things are done, presenting a lot of documents and citing a lot of laws. However, and Commissioner, you're right that Idaho state rules are pretty general and give a lot of leeway to the counties how they run businesses in the media.
So I was not wrong in saying that it was said at that meeting by several people, there was no plan. Are elected each in charge of their
for
own.
the gallery, Mr. Bowman, please direct your comments to the chair.
All right, Chair, you should know this and you could confirm it. You should know.
I can confirm you are wrong in your interpretation.
No, I'm
Thank
absolutely
you.
not wrong.
Oh my God.
When the Robert's Rules of Order were adopted, and do more than just bare minimums are written in the law. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Borisov. Mr. Bowman?
Dave Bowman for the record. Regarding ICCO, just in response to Ms. Lunsford, the ICCO consists of elected officials that are each in charge of their own department. They are not subject to open meeting law. Open meeting law is when you have multiple look it up.
They're all elected officials.
They are elected each in charge of their own.
For the gallery, Mr. Bowman, please direct your comments to the chair.
All right, Chair, you should know this and you could confirm it. You should know
I can confirm you are wrong in your
No,
interpretation.
I'm
Thank
absolutely
you.
not wrong. Look it up. You should know this. I should be shocked that you don't, but frankly, I'm not. Wow. An elected official in charge of his own department or her own department is not subject to the open meeting laws where they have to have a quorum and to meet with other people or to publicly agendize their meetings or notice them. Not the case. Really, you should look it up. 2 weeks ago, I commented about the October 16th special meeting that you all called about the EMS building across the street. Early in that meeting, Commissioner Williams commented several times that it was wrong to be spending taxpayer money without a plan. I went back and last week or 2 weeks ago, I was told that I was wrong by Commissioner Ahmet and Clerk Rosedale about what I said. 2120, I went back and looked at the audio file, Commissioner Ahmet. I'm inclined to agree with Commissioner Williams. He says that's unusual. Teddy Lupton at 21 and 30, we need a plan. The whole plan is not there. At 25 and 40, and here's a gem, Commissioner Bradshaw, and I quote, this wasn't when he was asked how we got here without a plan. This was a concept, he said. Then it went on to engineering and we had preliminaries. Now we're looking at modifications before you can have an exact plan, you have to talk about all these ideals over, which is why we're here. Then we can come up with a target plan and with all the numbers and go from there. So I was not wrong in saying that it was said at that meeting by several people, there was no plan.
He's laughing at me.
Regarding the workplace environment that you said today has nothing to do with HR and the BOCC. It has, that's a preposterous statement. Bringing HR under the BOCC has been a huge.
Do you have to be a citizen, or can I just go in there and can I just be like, yo, what the fuck? Yo, this is Tina with What the Fuck Translation Services. Why are you laughing at people? Who is this guy to think that he can just laugh at what these people are saying?
Contributors.
Like, this is unreal.
A poor working environment for many employees in this building.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Mrs. Fletcher.
Darla Fletcher for the record. I just want to ask for an item for the agenda going in some future time. We've made some comments about the facilities and who should be looking at doing winterizing and general maintenance. And I would like for you to consider putting that under the maintenance department. I think they have somebody who leads them and could keep accurate records. And that seems to me the logical place, because that's the point where they get their marching orders. So I'd appreciate it if you just take that under consideration, please.
That's where it's at this time.
But
So
then I don't understand why it's been brought up several times that nobody's looking at it.
I don't either.
Okay.
we'll
Well,
get
thank
that.
you.
Yes,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Fletcher. Mr. Moore.
Joe Moore for the record. And so, as I mentioned last time, whatever, I think there can be some benefits, pros and cons, as per the public comments, being able to have a preliminary, to be able to have initial to begin with, and then at the end, whatever. And so I'm going to ask you to put that on the agenda to think about that, because I have seen some people leave, whatever, that they can't stick around for the whole meeting. So I think it would be beneficial that we could have public comment at the beginning and then even at the end, because there's a lot of things that come up through the discussion or whatever that people can want to maybe more talk about. And as the one brother was saying here about instead of having a bare minimum, because that's what I'm trying to get to here, that we open it up so that there is more public comment, because hopefully you guys want public comment. I mean, I know it's not always easy to take, whatever. Hopefully we're all trying to monitor ourselves better, but you guys should be wanting to hear any and all dialogue that people come here to want to be part of and to give you. So that's one thing I would like you to contemplate or whatever, as a beginning and an end or whatever. And yeah, and because a big part of me saying about even having it at the end, beginning and end, luckily several of my peer group here mentioned something that I thought nobody was going to bring up, or maybe I was the only one considering it. But I heard several people say here about your Robert's Rules of Order, and I'm not a Robert's Rules person. I've never studied it because I never really thought I needed to, because most people, you can dialogue in common sense and try to get through scenarios to try to have a better understanding. But when you were reading off that stuff this morning or whatever about Robert rules, and even you said about some of the county's delineation of how the meetings need to go, you left what I would call ambiguity. You said, well, this is what we're going to go by, but then you also, I heard several sentences say, well, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it written down, that you could.
I'd storm in there and be like, yes, my name is Tina. Tina with What the Fuck Translation Services. What the fuck are you doing up there, dude? I think you're a fucking dick. That's enough. Why? I have my 3 minutes. I'm fucking exercising my First Amendment, and I think you're a piece of shit. Yeah, that's my fucking take. I think the way that you treat these fucking people when they come in here is pure dog shit. You should eat dog shit. You and that fucking little hat of yours to the right. Where's the black lady? She's the only one with some fucking common sense, and now she's gone. So this is Tina with What the Fuck Translation Services. I mean, Miss Oriati, that is enough. No, I got my 3 minutes, and now I want to rehearse some Bible lyrics. After we talk about this, Kid Cannabis, they were trying to transport a bunch of drugs, and then, in 2020, you guys found a bunch of drugs that was out in the middle of, the woods. What did you guys do with $2.16 million worth of cocaine and methamphetamines? Where is that today? Is that still in evidence? Can we get somebody to go in there and make sure that that coke is still there and that meth is still there from 2020? Also, who are the CIs that were in fact involved in that huge drug bust that was part of in 2020 was part of Canada. Who was driving that black Range Rover? Who were the three people? Can we get some names here? Excuse me? Yeah, I think I got a couple more minutes here. Yeah, and you're a fucking asshole. You can wipe that little smirk off before I wipe it off with my tits. You hear me? And this is Tina with What the Fuck Translation Services. Over and out. Yeah, that is not allowed. Why?
Fluctuate within any of those Robert's rules or the counties. And so, hopefully we can dialogue without having so much rules, but because of the situation that we've let develop in this county for the last year or whatever, then it seems like, yeah, we have to have more structure. But even in that structure that you laid out, it's like you still as the chairman get to ambiguously say, well, pick and choose how that happens.
Yeah.
And so also,
Mr. Moore, your time has expired. It is 11:04. I am going to respond to the people online, but it is 11:04 and we are taking a 5-minute recess.
Okay, we are in recess. Oh my goodness, we're in recess. Oh, it's been a little bit longer than 5 minutes.
Could have or would have committed improprieties concerning the fair. Now, the way I understand law enforcement, and I do have a limited amount of knowledge on this, the county is the victim here. And the county needs to file a complaint so that it can be investigated. And it is my understanding that the prosecutor nor law enforcement have authority to investigate certain things without a county complaint as a victim. I'd like to know why the county has not filed a complaint for them to investigate this problem. We do know that there was a laptop of Darcy's and it was in control of the county for a time. I don't think that it still is, but I don't know if they ever looked at it or not. But it does bring to mind the fact that the county should have filed a complaint on this so that it could be investigated by law enforcement. And therefore, if anybody else was responsible for anything, that would be looked at and Darcy wouldn't have been, dumped to hold all responsibility for everything when she may not have done anything wrong. We don't know because it did not get investigated properly. Now,
I do want to bring up to, instead of you guys giving away those gift cards, I always think that everybody can get about like $25 to $50 worth of the cocaine that you guys did seize. I think that'd be a great way to pass out some gifts this Christmas instead of wasting taxpayers' dollars on Christmas gift cards in the form of $25 and $50. I was thinking that we could go to the evidence locker and pull out that cocaine from 2020. And I was thinking that not just the employees of the community, but I was just thinking that every citizen here of Bonners can go ahead and get $25 to $50 worth of that cocaine and methamphetamines that were seized. I believe that would be, a way for us not to spend, $2,000 and for us to set that aside so we can just have a big blow fest this Christmas. Literally, we could be going out Christmas carrying together. We could bring the community together. And I just think that if we went ahead and took advantage of our evidence lockers, that we can go ahead and collectively all come together and have just one, Merry Christmas time. And maybe we can just put our anger aside and just get lit as a tit all together between meth and blow. And, we can just all rat each other out. And, hopefully the snitches will come out too. And then we could truly find who killed Dr. Drake and who blamed, Dr. Moore. But this is a way to save $2,000 as well. That's all I have. I'll take my 1 minute. Thank you. This guy be like, that sounds like a great idea.
As far as the ICCO goes, there was a group sometime back that met every Monday night under the guise of watching Monday Night Football in a public restaurant/bar or whatever you want to call it. This included many elected officials. And I say under the guise of because a lot of them had no clue who was even playing after they had their little night of football.
You guys, she's great. Who is this woman? All Sherry got was 1 minute. So when you only do this online, you only get a minute. That's bias. This is not equal opportunity here.
Not. But it does bring to mind the fact that the county should have filed a complaint on this so that it could be investigated by law enforcement. And therefore, if anybody else was responsible for anything, that would be looked at, and Darcy wouldn't have been, dumped to hold all responsibility for everything when she may not have done anything wrong. We don't know because it did not get investigated properly. Now, as far as the ICCO goes, there was a group sometime back that met every Monday night under the guise of watching Monday Night Football in a public restaurant/bar or whatever you want to call it.
I wonder if Dr. Drake was part of that.
This included many elected officials. And I say under the guise of, because a lot of them had no clue who was even playing after they had their little night of football.
He's basically saying after they had their little rendezvous, they couldn't even tell you who was playing in the game. They were so fucked up off of the coke and meth and alcohol and strippers. They all smelled like straight Bath and Body Works. You know what I'm talking about? That stripper smell when you were just doused in Bath and Body Works. When people say to me, oh my God, I love that smell. I got it from Bath and Body Works. I just think to myself, straight stripper. Sorry. This woman's like, yeah, this is great. She's spilling the tea.
They did, however, discuss a lot of business. It was not an official group. They may or may not have taken notes. It doesn't really matter. But I don't see that as a whole lot different from other groups such as the ICCO being allowed to gather and do whatever it is they feel like doing. So that's it. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. And Mr. Volley, I will seek the information that you have requested. I will put in some public records requests to find out how that worked, because those are good questions. I'm very curious to see what we shall find. So
Sherry.
Wait, they're going to put in public requests? Let's see. You heard it here first. He's going to put in FOIA requests. Yeah, right, you fucking liar. You are just a walking, talking sack of shit.
The prosecutor does not necessarily have to have somebody press charges or initiate an investigation. If a prosecutor is aware that a crime could have or may have been committed, he is authorized under the duties of his office to pursue that. And so in the event that a prosecutor had that suspicion and chose not to do it, he would be derelict in duties. And so
your whole damn staff is derelict in duties. They couldn't even tell you that Jennifer Drake, her 911 call, what tower it hit off of it. It's just right there in front of them.
the fact that all these questions are out there and nothing has ever been investigated or looked at from law enforcement or the prosecutor side, for me, is extremely concerning and highly suspicious. But that's just me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would the Bonner County Board of Commissioners have a responsibility to file that complaint as well?
Mr. Volley, we will get back to you, but we are not engaging in dialogue, just like our ordinance says. Thank you for your comments. Mr. Hutchings.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Mr. Hutchings, who are you?
This is, I want to make sure you can hear before I say it. This is, you know,
we lost you.
Lost me?
You're somewhat breaking up. Go ahead. Please continue.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Spencer, but I don't know who you are.
My name is Spencer Hutchings, and I'd like to say that a lack of
So
transparency.
now do you know who he is? Now they said Spencer Hutchings. Look at that smile. Like, what is wrong with this guy? Look at he got his rocks off that he got him to say Spencer. Look at this weirdo.
Or looked at from law enforcement or the prosecutor side, for me, is extremely concerning and highly suspicious. But that's just me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look at he's cutting him off. Let the cowboy talk, all right?
Would the Bonner County Board of Commissioners have a responsibility to file that complaint as well?
Mr. Volley, we will get back to you, but we are not engaging in dialogue, just like our ordinance says. Thank you for your comments. Mr. Hutchings.
Okay, so he calls him Mr. Hutchings, okay? He uses the name Mr. Hutchings. Listen to this.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Mr. Hutchings, who are you?
This is, I want to make sure you can hear before I say it.
This
is, you know,
We lost you.
lost me.
You're somewhat breaking up. Go ahead. Please continue.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Spencer. But I don't know who you are.
My name is Spencer Hutchings, and I'd like to say that a lack of transparency.
Mr. Hutchings, go ahead. I don't know who you are, Spencer. He says Hutchings and he says Spencer. I don't know who you are, but he says Hutchings and he says Spencer, and then he says Spencer Hutchings, and he's just like he got giddy, like in a weird kiddie way, like.
Transparency has kind of transformed the perception our county citizens have of the really good-hearted, kind people that have taken valuable time from their lives to volunteer to run our fair. And I think it's a real shame. I'd like to state that a person was interviewed by law enforcement over suspected crimes involving public money, and subsequently that person passed under circumstances requiring an investigation by law enforcement. A check into said suspected finances by law enforcement seems like a step that, if ignored, would lead to a great deal of suspicion by the public, which has happened, and we all are quite suspect as to what really went on there. Whether you think this person took funds or did not take funds, we all want to know. A general lack of transparency is glaringly obvious here. The amount of effort to obfuscate, I can't say that word today, and bury financial dealings of the fair is pretty staggering. You know, the amount of trouble that's been gone through to try and bury the financial dealings of the fairground by members of this board and other.
Oh my God, this is the fairgrounds that fucking Stephen Hartman was talking about, that he was wandering by on the night of the Drake murder. These are the fairgrounds. Wow, I'm just learning all about this.
Folks in the county is, and past members of the board, is staggering to me, the amount of effort that's going forward. And I hope all the members of the public notice that. And I think they have. And, you know, you just stated, Luke, that the commissioner is the only ones that can audit. And you were followed closely by that statement, and Steve saying that the prosecutor should have done the audit. And, you know, I think the commissioners, the sheriff, the prosecutor, they all need to take this financial scrutiny off the fair board so that they can go back to doing their job of putting on a fair for the county. They need to go back to running the fair. You guys need to take on the responsibility that you're currently shirking and figure out what happened to the county taxpayers' money. If anything happened to that money, you need to reassure the county taxpayers that the money is not missing, or that it did disappear. And if it did disappear, whoever was responsible for that needs to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. We all know that fair board meeting minutes exist. We all know fair board bank records exist. We all know fair board employees that were employees of the county had laptops, and they exist. All of these things need to be closely scrutinized by an outside auditor until we find the truth.
Okay, so let me get this straight. There's a bunch of money that was missing, and then somebody was murdered. Is that what you're telling me here? Because and they were trying to probably blame the person that's dead right now. Three people are dead. The fuck is going on in Bounders? This is my opinion. I suddenly realized I'm on the wrong court here. Wait a second. Let me do a little something really quick. Because I will get those reports, y'all. If this is what Bonner wants, I'm gonna get you what you want. Just call up Lana. We're gonna get you what you want here. Let's see, Bonner's Fairgrounds death. I agree, Lana. It seems so many cover-ups in Idaho. Just look at BKKs. They do not want to look at payroll lawsuits. Okay. Miss Darcy, but is that her full name? What's Darcy's full name? Darcy, is that her? You guys can give me her name. Oh, no, I think they accused her, Darcy, until she died. Oh, you sick bastards. And now they're probably saying, yep, now the problem's gone. Darcy Smith. You sick bastards. What did I tell you about Mrs. Smith earlier? Oh, man. Let me see about Darcy Smith. They ran her name in the mud, didn't they? Darcy Smith, Bonners County. Oh my God, committed suicide, you sick bastards. Oh, former Bonner County Fair manager commits suicide, aimed fraud. Oh my God, you sick bastards. No wonder all you fuckers are retiring early. You guys are sick. Sandpoint, Idaho. The former Bonner County Fair manager, Darcy Smith, was under investigation for fraud before taking her own life, according to the Bonner County Sheriff's Office. Yeah, right. In June 2022, Miss Smith was reported to the Bonner County Human Resources Department for misappropriating county fairgrounds assets. To ensure the investigation was managed according to state statute, the HR department assembled a team to organize and present a response plan to the Fair Board. In July of 2022, an external auditor was notified regarding the suspicious of fraud at the fairgrounds. Following the HR meeting with the Fair Board, Smith filed a harassment grievance against the HR team. Sandpoint Chief Corey Kahn and detectives interviewed Ms. Smith on October 27, 2022, at which she denied any wrongdoing. On October 31st, 2022, Ms. Smith took her own life, and only 4 days later, Bonner County Coroner Robert Beers determined the cause of death to be a single gunshot wound and the manner of death to be suicide. The coroner consulted with a forensic pathologist in making his determination. Additionally, gunshot residue was found on Smith's hand. The criminal investigation concluded after Miss Smith took her own life. Bonner County Sheriff Darrell Wheeler said, "It is evident from the report that the losses due to fraud were substantial. However, the fair is mostly a cash business, so the entire sum cannot be decisively determined. The Fair Board is committed to righting the ship, and for the past several months, the Office of the Prosecuting Attorney has been providing legal advice to the Fair Board and assisting to determine the proper rules in separation from Bonner County." Wow. So the question is did Darcy Smith commit suicide or was she killed? Rumor is she did not take funds but ends up dead. That's sad. Yes, this is Sandpoint. Shit, it's all the same, man. Sandpoint, Bonners. I've had enough tonight. This is quite disturbing. How old was Darcy? Rest her soul. I would love to talk to Darcy's family. I'm sure she talked to somebody. Does she have any kids? I'll figure it all out. Well, in the meantime, please rewind and go and check out that we do have the tower now that Miss Jennifer Drake called off of, which was in Sandpoint. So her calling 911 did not happen when she was on her couch in Hayden. She called 911 when she was in Sandpoint 45 minutes. We have the tower now. 45 minutes away from both Bonner's Ferry and her home. She was in Sandpoint off of a tower. You a lie. And I keep saying it. I'd be getting myself one hell of a defense attorney because this stuff, the water's getting hot and the bubbles are starting to boil. And that means that's when I drop my crab legs in and I go and get from Costco. All right, guys. You guys rock. Until next time. Peace.
And like, if you need Lana brains, you're going to be in trouble.
It's November 29th. 4 people that were murdered, and you want to fuck around. You got 8 families that are being affected by this, and they just mean nobody from the university.
Shock value. And so what he did was he had taken pictures California.
Oh, you're from.
And-
I would be outraged if I lived in Moscow right now. I'd be lighting some cars on fire out there. I'd be flipping some cars. I'd get the frats going wild with me. Let's get some noise complaints going.